Hey, Mighty Pals, it's time for some Thursday tips, and let's talk about the equivalent of comfort food in our content. Sometimes life gets messy, the world gets messy, we get busy. Maybe we want to go on vacation, maybe we want to take a break. Maybe your kids are home and coming home from college and you want to spend time with them. Maybe you're sick, maybe just life explodes and you don't want to go dark on social media. You don't want to go dark on your communities. You don't want to just skip emails. And it's why we have tools that help us schedule things and scheduling appropriately. Those kinds of tools and automations, whether it's an autoresponder in your email or social media scheduling, are real great business and sanity savers. But so is having comfort content. That's something that's just come to me this week. It's I've talked in the past about being, where's my go-to? What's my comfort level if I can't remember to do anything else? And it's probably sending an email, or it might be jumping on a Facebook Live like we're doing now. It also helps to have literally in your back pocket some content you can always turn to so that you have something out there, so that you are both sustaining and nourishing you while the world and life is busy and messy, and sustaining and nurturing your audiences. You're continuing to give them value. And I've been talking over with Melissa Brown, and she's got content during the She's Got Content Summit this week, but also in anticipation of some of my own courses coming up. I am doing new live sessions in my Mighty Marketing with Trello courses. I'm really excited about it. Yes, Trello is my go-to tool, but what I'm telling you today, if you have a Word document, use a Word document. You want to use a Google Sheet, use a Google Sheet. You want to use Evernote, use Evernote. You want to use OneNote, use OneNote. Pick your tool, but have some place where you're keeping track of some basic, core, comfortable content and calls to action that you can turn to, that you can schedule, that you could send out in an email or a social media post even when you're busy and without overtaxing yourself, or that you could have scheduled and go, boom, it's going to go out without me. So, for example, I have my main content ideas, my content library is in Trello, and I'm going to show it to you really quickly. It's something we're going to dive deeper into when I do the Mighty Marketing with Trello courses in December, because really this is the key way that I'm using Trello on a day-to-day basis. You can use any of your preferred favorite tools as long as it lets you save links, reminders, notes, maybe even links to the documents themselves. So let me show you what I mean. And I'm going to be able to share the screen. And I want to pick. So, yep, cool. So what you're seeing now over here is, let's show this the whole screen. My content ideas, my content board inside of Trello. And there's a lot of things here. The main thing to know, for example, though, is right here is where you can kind of sort of see the cursor moving. Those are affiliate links. So those are all the tools and the apps and the things and the products that I recommend all the time. So that's one kind of comfort content. If there's a tool, so what did I send in today's Thursday tips? Yeah, I sent you a link to Trello. That was easy. If there's another tool I love, like my calendar booking service, Blab or Zoom, or maybe it's down here and it's Sendal. Sendal is a great lightweight shopping cart feature that maybe you don't need something more complicated. I send a quick email, maybe I write a social media post and say, hey, I love this tool. This is why I love this tool. Check out this tool. If you've got a favorite book that you love rereading, could be in business, could be in your niche, could be anything, give the link to your book. Give the link to the book that you love. If you have a book of your own, share that book. The point is, what's easy for you? The other one is, this is a list that keeps all of my offers, my content, my courses. If I have something that I've recorded in the past that it's evergreen, like the Trello training, maybe it's the content repurposing training from earlier this year, grab that link, throw that in a quick note. But the other main thing is blog posts, and that's on some other part of this list. But the main thing is, do you have blog posts? Keeping a copy of the links to your blog posts. You don't just want to write it and have it be one and done. If you shared it in the past, but maybe it's been 3 months since you shared that post, that's comfort content. Grab the link to that blog post, schedule it into social media, throw it in an email. I was talking with somebody recently this week. Super awesome coach, super messy and busy and crazy in life right now. She's like, you know what? My email, it was 3 links to 3 blog posts, three pieces of evergreen core content that were on her site that she knew would be valuable and useful to her audience. And we can't assume that everybody who comes in contact with us in our business has seen all of our stuff. It's why it's okay sometimes to repeat threads and topics in your emails, even. It's cool to do it again in your blog posts. If I wrote something, go take a look at your analytics. Take a look at the most basic analytics you have on your site that say, oh, everybody really loves the post that I did about using diverse images. Oh, everybody really loves that recipe that I shared. Oh, they really love when I showed them how to craft with egg cartons. Whatever cool post you have that's relevant, no matter what time of year it is, grab the link to that post and schedule it into social media, whether you're using a tool or you're just doing it natively in Facebook or LinkedIn. Have those 4, 5, 6 posts that you've written over the years that are still useful, still helpful. Keep them in your back pocket and share them again. In fact, you could go ahead and right now and schedule something to go out, in between the holidays, just so that you don't forget to write an email, so that you don't forget to stay and have something in social media. If you've written something in the past, at one point in time, I did something about back to school over my other website. So that would be great. I could take that back to school post and go ahead and reschedule it for next August. And I don't have to think about it. There we go. There's something that I can send and go out. Curated content. If there's another blog, if there's another author that you love that always shares good content, have them in your back pocket. Go check out, find something that's on their most recent blog post, their most recent sites, and schedule that. Share that so that you've got something going and nurturing your audience. It can be sharing it into your own Facebook group. Cool. Fran thinks these are great ideas. Thank you, Fran. I am glad they are helping you. So maybe one of the things that I do coming up is, I send out my link again to StreamYard. I've probably been with StreamYard like a year. I think I repaid again for my premium plan. And why am I doing that? Well, for things like that, where I can show people's faces and their cool comments in the videos. Somewhere, here's the charge for you within the next week. I don't care what system you use. Do I love Trello? Yes, I showed you Trello. Will I show you inside of Trello more within the next month? You betcha. But use the tool that fits your brain. Just be consistent with it and have some place where you've got those links to your top 5 blog posts, to maybe 3 people whose blogs that you read a lot, that you think your audience would also like, that you can go to in a pinch and quickly copy anything that they've done recently and share it with your audience. Pick 2 books you've read in the last year. Pick 2 books that you've had on your bookshelf for years that you love. For example, I'll do the same thing I did the other day. I recommended this book so many times. Ann Handley by Everybody Writes, one of the founders at Marketing Profs. He wrote the book Content Rules. It's a bestseller. No matter what you're writing, no matter what you're doing in terms of marketing, this is an easy read. Do this. Great, there's a book recommendation. Share anything that you like, that you think is of value to your audience. Keep 3 books that are your favorites in your go-to. What's your comfort content? Have something that when life and the world gets messy and you can't sit there and you're staring at a blinking cursor in an email and you're like, you know what? Hey, folks, life is busy, life is messy, but I think that you will love reading Denise, I won't say Dutton Thomas, Dutton Suffield, go check out Leonie Dawson, which is actually somebody I do recommend, and it's funny because I feel like she's the antithesis of me. I'm science, I'm reality, I'm logic, I'm data, and Leonie is this sweary, hippie, earthy, uber brilliant, successful, colorful artist, entrepreneur. Yeah, her stuff. Love it. This is one of the things she actually put her daily to-do list planner out now in a spiral this year. Um, so maybe I go and I grab something like that because that's just something completely different and off the wall to recommend to you. But whatever that is for you, whatever that comfort content, that content that's stashed in your back pocket, that you've got a Word document, that you've got a Trello board, a OneNote, an Evernote file for, someplace where you can easily grab it no matter where you are, that you can go off and share. Fran's waiting for her workbooks too. The workbooks are over there. I'm going to get started. I actually have a stack going back to, I believe, 2015. My workbooks from Leonie Dawson are over in another corner of my office. And yeah, so, okay, this is cool. And hopefully you don't mind. It's a really great one. Not knowing right about. And the answer is, what do you feel comfortable with? What can you easily turn back to? If it's your own post, if it's a post from somebody else that you love, that you followed for a long time. For example, I know that I could go and grab almost anything right now from the folks at CoSchedule, HubSpot, or the Agora Pulse Social Media Lab, and it's going to be good and it's going to be useful. And maybe you've read it, maybe you haven't read that post from them. I'm actually sitting here right now, and I've got a post it's from Trello. It's about how you create and send a card to a board via email. And because that was something somebody asked me, I'm like, well, cool, that's really easy. Let me go grab something from Trello. I almost grabbed one of Trello's blog posts to send last night. In fact, maybe I even did. I was late when I was writing the emails to send out this week. I have my list. I have things that, I keep putting those ideas. If they come, they are saved. I can go grab one. But I also know, and this is where I have to practice my own talk more often, that I have tons of great blog posts that are evergreen, because that's the way I tend to write, that I should go and grab and share. Just because I wrote the post about using diverse images, that was back in the summer, there are going to be people in my audience who haven't seen it, who haven't remembered thinking about it. I actually shared it on social media in Melissa Brown's She's Got Content summit site this week, because we were talking about images, and Pam Hamilton was talking. We joked, she's a recovering attorney because she's now focused on being a business coach. We were talking about copyright and intellectual property. And I'm like, it's so important. It's so important. I wrote an entire monster blog post about it, and I put the link in because there's tons of people that were there in that chat, in that video, that have never met me before, and here's a post that will help them. I might have a post that's 9 or 10 months old that's probably really good and useful, and I haven't shared it in a while. So I'm just going to go schedule those things to share out between now and the end of the year, between January. Are there tools that will do that for me automatically? Yes, there are. But you can do it manually. Just remember to do it. Oh, good question. I'm going to show that. Fran, is that how you use Feedly to grab those? In a lot of instances, yes. Feedly is one of my go-tos when, for example, if I haven't been on Twitter in a long time and I want to make sure that I've got some stuff going out, if I want to send something to LinkedIn, I will absolutely go to Feedly, which is my news aggregator tool, and I'll go look for one of the blogs, the Agora Pulse guys, or John Jantz, or any of the other top marketing blogs that I tend to write. I'm like, skim real quick, read the headline, yep, and I can send it from right inside the Feedly app, or I grab the link to send out via an email. For my own blog posts, well, they should be in my Trello board, and some of them are. So, because then I'd have them to grab wherever. What I end up doing is I open I open a mobile browser, usually like on my iPad, and I open Safari and I go search my own website, so that I can grab the link to have to share. If I'm in the middle of a Facebook Live or something like that, I would go and do that. And Lynn's saying, yeah, what if it was easy? Go back to whatever is easy for you, especially if you need to get out of the what am I going to think or going to write about? Content curation, content repurposing, and resharing things you've already created. Have those as your content, as your go-tos, in your comfort toolkit, and sharing them out in whatever is the easiest way for you to do so, so that you're still out there with your audience, even when you're busy, even if you're on vacation, even if times are tough. Yes, obviously cut yourself some slack if you're sick, if the world has crashed down around you. But if you can schedule some of those things, if you've got tips and quotes, for example, that are, I'm sitting here thinking, do I have did I send a Tuesday tip out this week? I don't think I did. I'm going to make sure that I've got that going out next week. I've got all the quotes. I've got the tips. They were created in Canva. I'm going to use the Canva content planner, which I've been meaning to do, and just have them scheduled to go out. Reuse that stuff that I created at some other point in time. So I love ideas. If you want to drop in the comment now, if you're watching, or if you're watching this later on a replay, what do you have that's some go-to content? What are you going to do? Who do you turn to? Who do you read? What other blogs, do you love that you'd either like to share with folks here in my group or on my page, or more importantly, write them down so that you can go put them into your content library, into your comfort content, stash, and schedule some of those out between now and the end of the year, because we know that now and the end of the year is only going to get busier. If you have other busy times, for example, I made sure I had some stuff scheduled to go out or to be on social media last week while I was in the middle of running a conference, because I knew I wasn't going to have time to think or to do it live. So that's when scheduling things was really imperative. And I'm going to go try and remember to schedule some other things out as well between now and the end of the year, so that I don't, disappear on anybody. So, Lynn, the Canva content planner. That'll have to be next week's video. Stay tuned. The basic gist is that in the paid Canva for Work account, starting late this summer, they introduced a content calendar. It schedules your content directly to major social media accounts, everything except Instagram. So instead of downloading my images from Canva and then uploading them again to Buffer or Hootsuite or anything else, Canva sends them. Going to make life a whole lot simpler for sending things, at least from me to Twitter and to Facebook. It did. I used it for my nonprofit ahead of the conference too. So it's another reason why I will gladly fork over my money to Canva, and why I have done so for years and years. Magic resize button, unlimited stock photos that are in there, including now more diverse images, and the content planner, plus whole other reasons why it's worth it for me to have the pro account. And I think when it comes out to it, it's under $10 a month, because I pay annually. So I will show inside the Canva content planner maybe next week. So thank you very much, Lynn, for being the inspiration for next week's video. And I should go and give some hat tips to my pal Anne, who was the inspiration for this week's video about core content, content libraries, and keeping things in your back pocket. So I hope that goes and helps you. I had to go pick up my car from the shop right now, so you're going to get some short and sweet tips, and we will definitely talk Canva, content libraries, and yes, Trello, more in the next few weeks. Have a mighty rest of your day, folks. Can't wait to see content from all of you.